5 tips to transition your greatness. So I'm going to ask those of you that are here, what do you think shape means? What does shape mean to you? It's not a trick question. It's not me talking about your waist size, your feet, your foot size or anything like that. It's talking about you as an individual from a purpose-driven life perspective. So this was inspired by this book here. If you have not read this book, where have you been your entire life? The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. And it's an amazing, amazing book from a spiritual perspective about understanding your gifts, your talents, and your purpose in this life. And there is a part of the book that speaks about shape. So definitely go and see that. And that's what's inspired me to talk about this topic today. Now, he speaks about it purely from a spiritual perspective, but I'm going to bring in a few other elements if that's okay with you all today. So 5 parts to your shape. Your shape is you. The whole entire aspect of your very being that makes up the amazing woman that you are, or for the men, because we're not excluding anybody, that makes up who you are for the purpose-driven life that God has intended for each and every one of us. And whether you're a faith or not, whatever your belief system is, you know, it's not about pushing that down your throat, but we are made for purpose, every single one of us. Nobody is exempt. You might feel like you don't know what your purpose is. Oh, you've had a hard time in life, that you can't be used for anything, but you 100%, thank you, Dallas, for the reactions. You 100% are here on this life right now, at this very moment, here for a purpose. You're not an accident. None of us are an accident. We're all here to really do something amazing. And if you're ready to do something amazing, let me help you with some of these things I'm going to talk to you about. So, what does SHAPE stand for? S stands for your strength, H stands for your heart, A stands for your abilities, P, your personality, and E, your experiences. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give me an emoji in the comments for what you think represents strength. What do you think represents strength? And also, what does strength mean to you? So, strength is what we are good at. It's what we are good at. It's what we are able to do effortlessly. And every single one of us have a gift, a talent, and ability. We'll talk about abilities in a moment. That is effortless because it's ours. It's what we have been specifically designed and created for. Now, I'm going to talk to me sisters for a moment. I'm going to talk to the ladies. I believe as women, our natural gift and ability is because we are women, we're created to be mothers, that we naturally have a strength that is all about endurance and the ability to labour. Thank you so much for those reactions. And I tell you what, if it was down to the fellas to do what we have to do when we have to go into home labour. Those of you in the US, you have to excuse me, my accent does change from time to time. Hello, Sasha dear. Please do share and invite, guys. So if it was down to the men to have to birth these babies, to birth these boys and girls, trust me, this world would not be 7 million the world over. It probably would be closer to 2 billion, darlings, maybe even less. But we have the ability, we have such a strength within us. We can labour, we endure, and we have to understand that we are all able, we all have a strength that is something that we are good at, that we can actually endure, and that we can push through to completion because we're made for that. Understand your strength. It is something that is for you. It is what you are effortlessly able to do and good at. And I want you to start thinking about your strength. What contributes to your strength? Now, I'll give you an example and speak about myself for a moment, shall I? I'm going to take my pro spot for a moment, shall I, as I whoosh me wig out the way. I have an ability to chomp along. Let me translate for those of you that aren't sure what I mean when I say chomp. I have the ability to talk, and I believe that that's my natural strength and ability that God has given me. And I look at what contributes to my strength. And what contributes to my strength is my desire and my will to support people, to encourage people, to encourage people. That's what I actually attribute to my strength. And when I see that my gift and my strength to speak to people encourages them and empowers them to go and do what they are supposed to do, that contributes to my strength. That helps to make me even stronger. I realised that, I've always been a chatterbox. I used to get told at school I talk too much. Oh, she's underachieving. She's always talking too much. The devil was a liar. But I realised when I went through a really tough time in my life, circa 2013, when I broke up with my long-term partner. Some of you are so bored, you've heard this story many times. I do have a point. And I found that I was being placed in situations where girlfriends were having difficulties in their own relationships, and God was putting me into those situations to help and support them through me chomping on, through me talking. And there was healing for me in that I was in me being able to help them through my voice. That gave me an inner strength. And I guarantee you, guys, seriously, look at the things that attribute to your strength, because it's there. Don't negate as well some of the difficulties that you've gone through, because that also attributes to your strength. Let's just talk again, another example. I'm full of them today. I'm really in me kumbaya, really philosophical moments. But if you think about going to the gym, right? You would have probably heard this example. Thank you so much for the reactions, guys. Please do invite and share. If you think about going to the gym, when you get strong, when you build your muscles, what is the process? It's painful. Your muscles have to be ripped in order to be stretched, to regenerate, to get bigger. It's painful. When you're running on that treadmill, oh my goodness, I can't bear it. You feel like your chest is going to explode. But hey, it's doing something for you. So understand that your strength comes from the difficulty. It comes from the pain. It comes from being thrust into situations that are going to challenge you. You and I can't grow in easy situations. We can't become strong if we're not put into situations that's going to test our strength. So you need to look for the opportunities. Jamila, call this ball with muscles. Yeah, right. All right, Jamila. Understand that. And I want you to think about, when we talk about strength, please, Dallas, you're going to have to keep me on time. This Brit does like to chat a bit. How has your strength attributed to bringing you through some really difficult situations in the past? How has it? The strength that you have, how did it attribute in the past to getting you to where you are right now? Understand that in the past, your past difficulties will always help to maximize your strength. Thank you so much. So you need to understand that that natural strength that you have is going to take you forward to your further and future successes, okay? So let's just move on to heart. So thank you so much to those of you that are here. If you haven't yet shared an invite, please make sure that you do so. I'm not reading any of Jamila Corbett's comments. And thank you guys. I will respond to all of your comments on the replay. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask me at any time. Happy to do that. But also make sure that you check out the link. Go to bit.ly/the power list if you want to be a part of this movement. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you give me what represents heart to you as an emoji in the comments? Please do, exactly. Please do give me a heart, whatever you want to use as a heart representation emoji, or you can give me some reactions across the screen. So, heart. So, why is this an important part of your shape? Well, your heart forms the center of your emotional being. A lot of what we do, the passion behind the things that we do, comes from and should come from our heart. Our heart is where we love. Our heart is the place of service. And you are going to need to respond to the pull of your heart where it comes to your shape, your purpose. Because let me tell you something. Hey, Diane, good to see you. Let me tell you something. Your heart forms your emotional being. It's at the center of everything that you and I do. And why do I say that? Because let me tell you, let's just talk about social media for a moment, shall we? Jamila's trolling. Let's talk about social media. When you're scrolling through the newsfeed, scroll. When you're scrolling through the newsfeed, the vanity metrics, the compare affair, looking at everybody's hype, because I said this on a broadcast earlier on today, everyone's kumbaya, everyone's got the perfect life on social media, perfect hair and makeup, not a thing wrong with them in the world, have a meltdown every now and again, but everyone's happy, isn't it? So you have to understand that when you're trying to walk and operate in your purpose, let's say social media for a moment, with all these algorithms, all the competition, with all of what I just mentioned, you're going to need to have your heart checked and in place and firmly focus on your service, because there's going to be times when you're going to want to quit. There's going to be times when you're going to want to give up, that you're not going to be able to, based on what you see, you're going to be like, oh gosh, I don't know if this is for me. Yes, 100%. It's for you because you're coming from the heart-centered place of service. Let's just bring Christianity into a bit for a little bit, shall we? Because I am a Christian. Apologies to those of you that aren't. No tea, no shade, no offense. But when we think about Christ, came down from heaven, who was king into human form. What did he come here to do? He came here to serve. He washed the feet of his disciples, their stinky, cheesy, crusty feet. Because listen, they're walking around barefoot and sandaled in those times. Crusty feet! But he still got down and he washed their feet because he was here to serve. We are here to serve, and we're going to need to put our heart behind that. We're going to need to do that. Our hearts, we need to make sure that we're coming from a place of love. Because let me tell you, most of you will have experienced, would you not? You have an experience at one stage or another. People that are abrasive, that are unlovable, people that just don't treat you right, don't like you right, just do some real shady things. We're going to have to love the unlovable people in order to get to our purpose. Because it's not all going to be sweetness and light, is it? Like you've done that, Dallas. It's not. We're not going to encounter every single person that we're going to love and it's going to be lovable. So our heart has to accept all people. It has to be, our heart is what ignites our passion. Girl Power Ignite, ignite your passion through your heart, because you need to keep focus on serving, keep focus on the passion that is behind your purpose, okay? Love the unlovable, yes. So the next thing that I want to move on to, so that's heart. Heart accepts all people, it ignites your passion, and it helps to drive your purpose. So the next thing I want to speak to you about are your abilities. A is for abilities. So find an emoji that you think represents abilities. Now, this can be anything. You can go to the sporting section of the old emojis. Put it in the comments what you think represents your abilities. So what are your abilities? Your abilities are your natural gifts that when they are developed, they can transcend your greatness. So it's your strength, your natural abilities, your natural gifts that have to be developed. They have to be, like the shoe, has to be developed. Let me just pull on Jamila Troll Corbett for a moment, shall I? Well, most of you will know, because I'm sure most of you follow Jamila Corbett, and she was a pal queen over here, wasn't she, a couple of weeks ago? Let's just talk about Jamila Corbett. I have to talk about her because she's my friend, and I'll just use as an example. Anyway, she was a basketball player, was she not? Jamila Corbett had that ability to play ball, but she still had to train for it. Did she not? She would have had to train. So we all have our abilities, our natural strengths, our gifts, but they have to be nurtured and developed. So you have to go and be trained, mentored, coached, whatever it is. You have to put development, personal development behind your abilities. Because when you do that, you maximize the capability of where you can go. There's no limit to where you go when you start to invest in your abilities. You apply your natural gifts, you become limitless. It's knowing, trusting and believing and responding to your abilities. Put in the investment behind that so that you can be the absolute very best that you can be, 100%. You have to be coachable. You have to be. You can't do it on your own. Everything has to be developed. Even those natural gifts, even those strengths, they have to be developed. And that comes into whether it is working with people, collaborating with people, being mentored, being coached, investing in yourself. Really important. If you want to go as far as you can go, ladies and gentlemen, you have to invest in your abilities. It's a really important part of your shape. So let's move on to the fourth point. I'm nearly there. Just give me a time check. Number 4 is P for personality. So we all have personalities, don't we? Yeah, we all have our personalities. You know, those of you that are parents, you start to see all your children have different personalities. Then we're not all the same, and we're not supposed to be. And we need to own who we are. We need to own our personality, because let me tell you something. It doesn't matter how great a product or service that you have. Let's talk about business, for example, for a moment. It doesn't matter how great you talk about your products and services here on social media, how great your website is, how great, your merch is. If the personality that is behind that is what people buy into first and foremost. So own your personality. I say this to my clients. I say this on my live streams all the time. Be 100% you, unapologetically you. Let your personality shine out, because that's what people will buy before anything else. Before they push their hand in them pocket, yes, that was a little bit of patois there, but before they push their hands in their pocket, now we're going to the British accent, and no, I'm not going to do American because I always end up doing Valley Girl. Before they give you any of their money, they're going to have to decide whether or not they like you, whether or not they love you, whether or not they trust you, and that's going to be from them getting to know you. You don't have to be anybody else. If you are 100% being true to who you are, your passion, your gifts, your talents, your purpose, you're coming from a place of service, a heart-centered place, you don't have to try and be anybody else. You've got it. So put that forward before anything. Own your personality, own your strength, own your gifts. Because it's all, you've been fashioned and purposed to be you, because there is a job that you have to do that if you try and replicate anybody else or be anybody else, what's going to happen? What if they don't like you? Well, if they don't like you, Dallas, met them guan. Yes, another bit of patois, met them guan. If they don't like you, let them go. And I spoke about this earlier on today on a broadcast about rejection, because as human beings, we like to be loved, don't we? We like to be loved to be loved. We like to be loved. We like to be cared for. We like to be popular. But we can't please all of the people all the time. And it's dealing with those issues of rejection, and understand that if anybody rejects you, that's okay. It's not a reflection on you. If they don't like you, it's not about you, and it's everything about them, their own personality, their own needs. All right? Own who you are. 100% authentically and unapologetically you. Your personality is amazing. You don't have to dim your light for anybody. And if you are dimming your light, you are dimming your purpose. God can't utilize your purpose. You can't get there if you are dimming your light trying to be like somebody else. Don't do that. This is Girl Power Ignite. Pow! Ignite your power. Ignite your passions. Ignite your strength, your abilities, all of it. This is about you. You're here at this time for a reason. Okay, so the final point is experience. E for experience. So, how and where does this come in, guys? Exactly. How does this come in? I believe that the majority of us that are here where we are right now, in the businesses that we are, the relationships that we are, the things that we are passionate about, and the things that we share on social media, has come from our, thank you so much for saying that, has come from our experiences, has come from our past. Whether it doesn't necessarily even have to be something bad, something in our lives happened. There was a change, a transition, a crossroads moment. We went through difficulty, loss, regret, whatever, but it inspired where we are today. So your experiences are extremely important, and it's important that you share those experiences. What is that? The power of your story. I speak about that all the time, particularly with live streaming. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Some people say, well, not everything is for social media. And I'm not talking about you sharing absolutely everything and spilling your guts and telling the whole world all of your business. Of course, I'm not saying that. But understand that your story is one that you should be proud of, one that you should celebrate, and one that you should share. And I say that you should share it because your story and your testimony will save a life. There is somebody out there specifically for you, waiting to hear your voice, your story, your voice, see your face on social media, on wherever it might be, on a website, whatever it might be. And it will change their life. It will rescue them. Share your story. Own your story. Be proud of your story. Your experiences are so important to your ministry, to your testimony, to your purpose. Never be ashamed of where you've come from. We've all had a past, didn't we? We've all had a past, made some choices where we're like, what the heck was I doing? Did I not have any sense? I was brought up better than that. All of us do that, don't we? We all have been through some stuff where we're like, oh well, what are you going to do? You can't change the past. Own where you are, own your experiences, because let me tell you something, what is meant for harm is always turned around for good. Always turned around for good. So understand that your experiences have power. You should share them. You should own them. Know that your story will change lives. Learn to be confident in sharing your story, because your story should form a firm part of your why. Never be ashamed, and know that any painful situations, any mistakes are always turned around for purpose.